Guys, a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, people like myself in high stress jobs, you tend to have high levels of anxiety, you don't sleep a lot, and what goes with this is not finding time to eat, and when you do eat, eating whatever you can see in front of you. Now, my eating has gone completely out the window since I decided to document Ashville weekly. That combined with the lockdown and all the gyms closing, I've managed to put on a lot of weight. It's something I need to address. It's been highlighted and I can see it myself. You know, you don't need people to tell you when you've put on weight.
You're getting too big.
And I'm getting fat, yeah?
And you have to take that off.
Yeah, I know. I've made my own gym now, so I'm going to start training.
Yeah, I noticed.
Looking at previous videos and looking at myself now, I can see it. I know you're watching, boys. Thank you so much for the card. The first person who ever worked for Ashville, Daniel at Ashville here. Well, we at Ashville, and me personally, are very passionate about lorries and machines. I don't really have much else to say on the matter. For me, I'm very tall, so I'm able to carry it. Sometimes I don't actually realize how much weight I'm putting on, but comes a point when you actually have to do something about it. So I need to lose 3 stone, and generally the way to lose weight is to eat less and exercise more. However, I want to lose weight and I want to gain muscle that I've lost, and I also want to bring my strength back up. So I'm going to do it with a combination of weight training and intermittent fasting. I want to say something about anxiety. Anxiety works in different ways for different people. Some people, when they have anxiety, they don't eat at all and you see them lose loads of weight. I'm the opposite. When I have anxiety, I tend to eat more, and I tend to eat rubbish, and I tend to eat comfort food. You know, after you work a 15-hour day, you come home, things aren't going your way, you've got cash flow problems, you've got staffing problems. Who doesn't like to tuck into a load of Haagen-Dazs or something like that? Full refurbishment, kitchen, 4 bathrooms, new plumbing system, new electrics, absolutely everything. Well, that is part of the problem. Another issue for me is when I'm not sleeping at all. Now, I might not be sleeping because I can't sleep because I finish work late. I have done this every single night for the past 6 years. There is no night that has gone by that I haven't done this work list. And I have to get up early in the morning, or it could be that I'm not sleeping because the amount of anxiety which I've got. Now, I tend to eat to replace the sleep, but I tend to do things like keep having a load of sugar and caffeine, keep me going, I'm gonna crash, go again. Whereas if I would have had a good night's sleep, I wouldn't have needed to do any of that. The number one issue, one of the main issues with putting on weight is eating late at night. Like, is nothing worse than having a massive plate of food and going to sleep with a big plate of food on your belly. But then again, who wants to do a day's work and go home and go to bed hungry? Going to bed hungry is brutal. I mean, like, it's cruel. It's one of them things. Sometimes you need a good plate of food before you go to bed, but you have to accept if you're going to do that, you're going to put on weight. So maybe try to moderate. I have trouble with moderation. I want to do everything. It's got to be the best. It's got to be the biggest. I want this machine. I want this lorry. Trouble with that at work is that carries through to my personal life, and I don't know how to moderate. Again, one of the reasons I put on so much weight. And I want to say, if you're going to eat late at night and everything's going to be excessive, it doesn't matter what you do in the gym. You can be the strongest person, you can run 5 miles a day, you could do anything you like. If you're going to eat badly and you're going to eat super late, you're not going to be able to manage your weight, or you're not going to get the body that you want. It's just not possible. One of the issues for me with diets and stuff like that is the fact that I still need to be a reasonable human being, and I need to be able to think. If I was to completely cut certain foods out of my diet, I wouldn't be able to think. I could become short-tempered, I could snap at people. While a diet is all about moderation, I need to think of the contents of that diet. I need to think about what I'm eating, because I can't starve myself of certain nutrients that I need. I wasn't even looking for a sponsor on this video, but knowing how serious I am about getting back in shape and losing weight, Skillshare got in touch. Skillshare are an online learning community with thousands of classes for almost anything. In Ashville Weekly, episode 20, I mentioned healthy eating. Well, I guess that's one of the classes I'm gonna have to watch next. Even though I study sports science and I've been training and dieting for over 20 years, you can never know too much. So I'm gonna watch Fitness and Nutrition 101, How to Burn Fat and Build Muscle by Brian Guerrero.
I'm gonna be your instructor, Brian. Today I'm gonna give you an overview first.
Or Hack Your Fitness, Introduction and Psychology by Jay Kim. So while I'm trying to tone up my arms, I can increase my knowledge and my wisdom. Premium subscription is less than $10 a month, which works out about 30p a day. So as knowledge is power, that is definitely affordable. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a free trial for Skillshare Premium membership. If you're serious about learning and bettering yourself, check the link in the description below. I've had to learn a lot about nutrition myself, and no matter what you learn about nutrition, you have to understand what works for your body. There's certain things I've done in the past what have really worked for my body, but it's not only what works for your body, it's what works for your body at that time. So now I'm going to try the intermittent fasting, but when I do get my weight down, I'm probably going to change to smaller, more regular meals, because the sort of training I do, I'm old school. I'm not about this CrossFit. I'm not about the latest exercise. I'm not about the new craze. I'm not like hanging from a tree, jumping around and doing all sort of star jumps. I'm old school, Arnold Schwarzenegger style. I push weights. I train my body in split parts, like I'll train chest, back, legs, shoulders, and core. A lot of you might say, how can you do a day of core? Well, with the injuries which I've sustained over my life, I've ruptured cruciate ligaments twice, I've got 2 slip discs in my back, I've broken my arm, I've broken my wrist, I've had trapped nerves, I've had absolutely every injury under the sun. Strengthening my core has changed everything for me. It made the rest of my body a lot stronger, but it also took a lot of pressure off my back. So yeah, that's why I do an individual day for core. So I'm gonna combine that with some cardio. As you can see, I walk to work one day. I am walking to work. I like to get in the gym. I like to pile on that muscle. Boom. But there's a bit of weight what we need to shed, and I'm far too big to go running. I've got plenty of knee problems, plenty of back problems. 3 hours and 32 minutes. We are now coming into the main area. We are bearing down. I can't stand cardio. I've got this assault bike in the gym. I use the assault bike to warm up, but rather than going on an assault bike for 45 minutes, I'd rather walk to work for 3 hours. I cannot stand cardio. For me, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if cardio was translated into a person, it would be Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Like, it's brutal doing cardio. The other favorite thing I like to do is that I love to box. Now, me saying that I like to box and me saying I like to train like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the two, they're completely the opposite of each other. One doesn't help with the other. If you're going to train to be a bodybuilder and you're going to go in the ring, you're going to get knocked all over the place because you're carrying far too much muscle, which your body needs oxygen for, and you're going to be a lot slower than someone who's nimble and fast. You see, boxing is all about skill, speed, and endurance. There could be a stage when I only do boxing training, and then there could be another stage where I only do weight training. So at the moment, I created this gym to be a mixture of both because I don't have a trainer. As Clubber Lang says in Rocky III, I live alone and I train alone. I'm the baddest in the world. Going back to the main point about losing weight, it's good for my self-esteem because I'm obviously going to be happier with myself. But losing weight is also about your general health. The heavier you are, the more pressure that you're putting on your joints, your working parts, and even that you're putting on your heart. I managed to put on 20 kilos. Let me show you what 20 kilos is. I am walking around every day carrying this. Firstly, bodybuilding. Some people say, oh, I see bodybuilding, but I never want to be that big. Don't worry, you won't. That takes years of nutrition and dedication to get there. You could argue that if I'm going to weight train, I'm going to put on 20 kilos of muscle. At least if I put on 20 kilos of muscle, that would speed up my metabolism. In turn, I would burn more fat and it would be a lot healthier. It's a lot healthier to have 20 kilos of muscle than it is to have 20 kilos of fat. So when I manage to get my weight back down, I'm going to move off the intermittent fasting and then I'm going to go to the smaller meals throughout the day. Now, I'm not a professional athlete, I'm not a professional bodybuilder, and I don't have time for all that sort of prep. So rather than going for the 6 meals a day, I'll probably break it down to 4 meals a day and a protein shake after I train. At least at that sort of level, you're getting multiple meals. Your internal furnace is still burning, your metabolism should still be like a freight train, and you're able to get the nutrition you need. You know, you need your veg, you need your carbs, you need your protein, you need your essential fats that you get from like the nuts and avocado and stuff like that. So yeah, if I can get the weight, when I can get the weight down, that will be the meals that I'm going back to. Right, so I've got a plan. Where do I start? A lot of people, and a mistake that I've made in the past, is that you start your strict diet and you start your training. This Monday is going to be different, or the 1st of January. Me personally, I know that doesn't work for me and it's such a shock to the system, and I still need to run a business. So what I tend to do, I start the training first. And I get my body to move, I get the blood flowing, and when I do that, my body starts to react immediately. Now, the scary thing immediately is that you will actually look like you put on weight because you're going to start to get a bit of muscle back. So I get the blood flowing, and rather than going for, when I'm training properly, I'll probably go for a rep range, depending on what I'm training. I'll probably go from a rep range of about 12, maybe 12 to 15, other training 8 to 10, or if I'm trying to be strong, I might do sets of 3, but 5 sets of that, just depending on the training I'm doing. But for the start, I'm going to do body parts together. So I could do, I don't know, I could do chest and back, and I'll do everything at reps of 20 that gets the blood flowing. Now, fortunately, I've been in a position before when I've been in shape, so my body will have some muscle memory, so my body will remember. Don't worry if you don't have muscle memory, because your body will change. If you put it under the necessary pressure and you give your body what it needs, all bodies adapt and change. It's just like people overcoming a common flu. Years ago, a common flu would have taken out all the cavemen, but now our bodies have adapted and they will continue to adapt and evolve. So don't worry, it's never too late to start. You can start now. When I get my first 2 weeks out of the way, then I move to start my intermittent fasting. Let me explain what I do with that. So firstly, I wake up in the morning and I have a large black coffee.
Coffee being made. 5:02 in the morning. Coffee's ready. A little bit of Himalayan salt in there. Pure MCT oil. Drop of Ghee. Get that in there. There's the morning coffee.
Then, 12 o'clock, I have my first meal. At the basement salvage project on site in the garden, there's a shed. There's a microwave in here. So here we go, about to eat my lunch. To be honest, my lunch is a mix-up of leftovers from yesterday, and gotta have my veg. Got some peppers and some chicken. There's some meat. But the key thing is that the time I'm eating is 6 minutes past 12. So I have the right size meal and I'm eating it at the right time. Therefore, I can keep my fasting window open. And then I have another meal at 5 o'clock. I tend to train now about 7 o'clock-ish, and I'll have my shake at 8 o'clock when I finish, and then I do not eat till the next day again, and we continually repeat this. Now, the key to the intermittent fasting is that 16-hour gap where you don't eat. Now, you might think, oh my God, this geezer's mad and he's starving himself. I am not starving myself. My body is adapting, and in the 2 meals that I do have, I'm having all the nutrients I need. Now, I'm going for like 60% protein, 30% carbs, and 10% essential fats. Other people who, I don't know, you could argue they're a lot more serious than me, they try to take it into keto and they don't have any carbs. Me personally, I need carbs. I have a lot of people to communicate with. I have to concentrate. I have to be in meetings. I have to be a reasonable person. Having no carbs whatsoever, and the smallest thing could happen, and me fly off the handle and go mad and start like shouting and screaming. I'm doing my best to stay calm, seeing as in a 3-acre yard, one of the drivers just reversed into the front of my car. Shut up. It's complete nonsense because, you know, nobody likes to deal with that, and it's not everyone else's problem that I'm on a diet and I'm trying to lose weight. Fluid wise, you have your coffee in the morning, maybe you can have another coffee later, but you got to stick to water. Don't try to be clever and say, oh, it's for my health, I'm having fruit juice. Fruit juice, while they are natural sugars, they are still sugars and they will spike your insulin. No fruit juice. Don't try to go with the Diet Coke or none of that. That does not work. Keep it simple. If you get really stuck, I like to do this. Chop up a lemon.
Filtered water, nice and cold, some lemon. Nice. 7 minutes past 5, still dark outside. It's actually really tasty. Liter of water with fresh lemons. Get the citrus in me, get the fresh water in me.
It makes a nice change, and also the citrus in the lemon will help you burn fat just a little bit, and every little helps. You can have a cheat meal once a week where you can eat or drink anything you like, not a cheat day, not a cheat day. Later on, when you've lost the weight that you want to lose and you're maintaining the lower weight that you've maintained, then you can have a cheat day. Preparation with this is absolutely everything. You have to prepare. Prepare your food. You need to set time aside or get someone to help you or use a meal prep company. Prepare your food and have your food ready. Do not wait.
Always need to be organized. Here is my lunch. I put this together yesterday in the lunchbox, ready for the day ahead. So my lunch, that's my gym bag, ready to go.
If you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail 100%. Otherwise you'll end up in the petrol station eating Scotch eggs and a dry tuna sandwich with a packet of cheese and onion crisp. If you do not bring food with you, you will eat rubbish. You are only a human being. And then you'll start with the self-hate, then you'll feel like depressed. What have I done? I've messed up everything I did before. By the way, when you slip up, you are not messing up everything you did before. You're only messing up that day. And don't try to overstarve yourself to compensate for what you did. The best thing to do is just get back on track. Stop beating yourself up. Don't start lashing yourself and punishing yourself. We don't want that. Very important thing. Do not study the weighing scales. Let me give you an example. Immediately when I started in my first week, I checked at the end of the week and I had lost 3 kilos. Probably the week after I might lose the same thing again. Here's the thing. Eventually, when you drop off that weight you're carrying, your weight loss will slow down. But you'll come to a point where your body is building muscle and you're losing weight, and muscle's heavier than fat, and you may stand on the scales and think, I'm not losing any weight, I'm not losing any weight. That's why it is important to measure inches, not scales. You don't want to lose weight, you want to lose inches. If you're putting on muscle and you're losing fat, you can see it. There's slight hints to see it. And never be disheartened if your body isn't changing immediately. Sometimes I look at myself and I think I look the same, I look the same, I look the same, and then I manage to get one good night's sleep and I wake up in the morning and I think, ooh, I look slightly different. So consistency, like most things, like with work, consistency is the key. Now I'm gonna continue what I'm doing for as long as I can. Let's talk in a few weeks, see where we are and how we're getting on. So that's how I plan to lose weight and get back in shape. Remember, every human body is different and what works for me may not necessarily work for you. Speak to your doctor, physician or dietitian before changing your diet or starting to train. And remember, it's never too late to get started. Consistency is key and don't get lazy. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see a video of me walking to work live, and click here to see the Ashville weekly episode where my mum told me I'm getting fat. Now I gotta get down. All right. This isn't gonna be graceful.